Honorable Senators, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order number 41.3 and 4 of the Senate, I received the following message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the passage by the National Assembly of the Political Parties Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 56 of 2021. The message, which is dated Thursday, 6th January 2022, was received on Friday, 7th January 2022, while the Senate was on recess, and was transmitted to all senators on the same day pursuant to Standing Order number 41.5. Pursuant to the Standing Order, I now report the message, which I quote: pursuant to the provisions of Standing Orders number 41.1 and 142 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas the Political Parties Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 56 of 2021, was published via Gazette Notice Supplement number 219 of 26 November 2021 as a bill concerning county government seeking to amend the Political Parties Act number 11 of 2021, and whereas the Political Parties Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 6 of 2021, was passed by the National Assembly on Wednesday, 5th January 2022 with amendments in the form attached hereto. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 110 of the Constitution and Standing Orders 41.1 and 142 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby refer the said bill to the Senate for consideration. Honorable Senators, Standing Order number 157 requires that a bill originating in the National Assembly be proceeded with by the Senate in the same manner as a bill introduced in the Senate by way of first reading in accordance with the Standing Orders number 139. Honorable Senators, as you have noted, the bill is listed for first reading in today's order paper, and consequently at the appropriate time, the clerk will proceed and read the Political Parties Amendment Bill, National Bill number 56 of 2021, a first time. I thank you.
Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, statements. Order number 8, the Political Parties Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 56 of 2021, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Political Parties Act and for connected purposes.
What's your point of order, Senator Murkomen?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I'd like to join you in welcoming us here and say Happy New Year to all of us, to yourself, Speaker, and to my colleagues. Happy, very important 2022. We all know why it's important. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, this political parties amendment bill, I just wanted to ask your assurance. I know it's first reading. There's no debate. We still wait for the second reading. And the bill is going to be committed to the relevant committee. I want to assure you, Mr. Speaker, that because of the importance of this bill, that Kenyans will be given an opportunity through public participation, well-publicized public participation, that gives an opportunity. All Kenyans are waiting for this House, Mr. Speaker, considering what happened in the National Assembly. The Republic is waiting, because what happened in the National Assembly did not give an opportunity for debate of the issues. Kenyans are still even wondering why are these people bickering over this bill. I hope, Mr. Speaker, the public participation process will be so thorough, give Kenyans an opportunity, and then when we come back here, we have a debate that is going to give confidence to the people of Kenya that this is truly the upper house. So I just wanted that general assurance, Mr. Speaker, and of course take advantage of this opportunity to wish everybody a Happy New Year.
Senator James Orengo.
Mr. Speaker, I also want... No.
Order, Senator Murkomen. Order.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank first of all, let me wish everybody a Happy New Year and hope that the rest of the tenure of this Senate, we are going to deliver in accordance with our mandate and in accordance with the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Senator from Elgeyo Marakwet, and he would have noticed that all that there is today for purposes of this bill is that it should be read for the first time. There is nothing in the order paper that shows that is going to be read. The second reading is coming in these proceedings, this special sitting. And for the information of the Senator, I think the Senate Business Committee, in its consideration of this matter, emphasized the need to go through the entire constitutional, legal processes, including the directions in the standing orders. And the question of public participation, I think, is aware, and as every lawyer is aware, the courts have put a high premium on the question of public participation. Maybe this point would have been brought out by the leader of the majority, but I have been party to the deliberations, partly chaired by you, Mr. Speaker. And since Mr. Speaker may not be able to speak on a matter that may attract debate, but I think under your leadership, there was direction that this bill be discussed comprehensively and thoroughly and robustly. And that is the way the Senate should go. As to the decision at the end, that is left to the House sitting in plenary or otherwise. So there should be no doubt about that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Chararge.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also want to equally to wish our colleagues Happy New Year and all the best, because this is the year. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I think I want to agree with everybody that it is very important that we rise above what we saw in the National Assembly by ensuring that we have and follow the Constitution as provided for, and ensure that all Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, have an opportunity of interacting, because we know under Article 118 of the Constitution, one of the key processes of legislation is to ensure that we have a public participation. And I want to thank the minority leader for assuring us that under the Senate Business Committee, they have assured us that this bill shall ensure that it leads to the full life of that is required for legislative process, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, and finally, I hope, Mr. Speaker, by the time either we come for the special sitting to debate, or even when the session of the House begins, the committee of JLAC shall ensure that we get the committee report early enough, so that when we are having a robust debate on the floor of the House, Mr. Speaker, the position, because the committee is part of the Senate and would really want to look at the report. And I hope, Mr. Speaker, the committee of JLAC made us proud when they did a report on the BBI document before it came to the House. So I hope when that report comes up, Mr. Speaker, it's sure that it is ready in time, so that our colleagues, Mr. Speaker, shall interact and ensure we participate properly, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I hope this House will not be a conveyor belt. I hope we should, through tooth and comb, to ensure that we go through the entire amendment bill and ensure that we give Kenyans opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I hope also colleagues who will have amendments, like some of us, Mr. Speaker, will have an opportunity of also having time to be able, at the committee of the whole, to give their input. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I hope to see this through. Let us give Kenyans what is legal, what is the constitutional provides for, Mr. Speaker, so that Kenyans can stay as a Senate, because now everybody is watching to the Senate, and I hope we'll rise beyond our political interests and give Kenyans the best. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kajwang Moses.
Mr. Speaker, I also join my colleagues to wish you and the entire House a happy new year. Indeed, I hope it's going to be a happy new year, and I hope that many of our colleagues will be back in this House before the year closes. Mr. Speaker, on the point of order raised by Senator Murkomen, he probably is not just seeking your assurance to the House. He's seeking the assurance of this House to the nation, that we are going to rise to the occasion, we are going to live to the expectation, and that will surely be the upper house. Mr. Speaker, history is there, and history shows that whenever there was a crisis in this nation, this House has always risen to the occasion. In the last Parliament, around the same time, we were debating the election amendment laws, Mr. Speaker, and you do recall that there was a lot of acrimony that accompanied the consideration of that bill in the other House and outside there. Mr. Speaker, at that time, it was senators, and I do recall it was Senator Orengo and Senator who is now governor for Meru, Governor Kiraitu Murungi, who led a bipartisan team, who led a team that included Senator Murkomen, included Senator Mutula Kilonzo. So this House has risen to the occasion in the past, and there's no reason why it should not rise to the occasion this time. Mr. Speaker, another example is a BBI debate. Mr. Speaker, we are proud that this House has got a Justice and Legal Affairs Committee chaired by the Senator for Nyamira. Mr. Speaker, the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee told this House, especially people like Senator Kajwang here, they told us things that we didn't want to hear. They told us that some things were unconstitutional. And we told them that, fine, this is not a court of law, this is a political contest. They were vindicated by the courts of law. So I want to encourage the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, speak the truth. Tell this House the truth, but let us make the considerations, let us make the decisions, because ultimately this is a House that makes political decisions. Mr. Speaker, as I finalize, I take note that because of the Christmas break, you gave directions that committees should be suspended to give some time for the clerks and secretariat and senators to reconnect with the electorate. But, Mr. Speaker, I want to beg your indulgence that as we speak, the people that I represent, the people who live on the islands of Lake Victoria, are suffering because the national government has banned the operations of the private ferry service provider that plies Mfangano Island, Takawiri, and Luanda Kotieno in Senator James Orengo's county. Mr. Speaker, this is causing untold suffering. I have not known how to deal with this matter since the Roads Committee is currently on holiday. And Mr. Speaker, I just want to beg your indulgence that you allow the Roads Committee a window of a week or two to call the CS for Transport and Infrastructure, CS Masharia. Because, Mr. Speaker, to the people of the islands, a ferry is infrastructure. And in every other part of this country, it is a government that has provided infrastructure. But to the people of the islands, it is private players who are providing infrastructure. There is no other example of marginalization than the fact that the people of the islands of Lake Victoria have to pay from their pockets, and they have to pay a lot of money to get infrastructure that is freely provided to other parts of the country. Mr. Speaker, as I finalize, that particular matter, where the Kenya Maritime Authority has banned the operations of that ferry, has also compromised the development of school infrastructure. We know that with the CBC, we need to be building schools, we need to be building classrooms for junior secondary school. Almost 7 secondary schools in Fangano Island, Mr. Speaker, cannot get cement, cannot get supplies, because the people of the islands get everything from the mainland. Mr. Speaker, I've seen the chair of the Roads Committee, the very able senator for Kiambu, and incoming governor of Kiambu, Senator Kimani Wamatangi, is here. If later on, even in your chambers, Mr. Speaker, you could give the orders that the Roads Committee be seized of this matter, immediately call the CS Infrastructure, so that the people of the islands, the people of Lake Victoria, can also be served with infrastructure just like other people in the Republic of Kenya. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So we will give an opportunity to many more people.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to join you in wishing all colleagues a Happy New Year. Make one or two very brief comments on this issue before the House. Mr. Speaker, I think you are a very lucky speaker, because there is no time you have ever wished to come to your chair with a helmet, because this is a House where we talk we debate, we agree, we disagree, but with dignity and with the respect that this House carries. Mr. Speaker, seeing what we saw in the lower house as this bill was being debated, it made some of us chill. We chilled because, Mr. Speaker, there is no single member that is legislating for himself or his party or his region. We are legislating for the country. And every bill we pass must be a bill that makes this country a better place to do our politics and to do anything that we need to do within the law. So as we start the process of this bill, Mr. Speaker, I appeal that, one, we are not in a dash, there is no truncating of the process, so that due process is taken, public participation is undertaken, and public participation must be real so that Kenyans can also ventilate, as is required under the Constitution, on what they think of the content of the bill, and that members of this House will debate it freely, fairly, and pass a law for posterity, not for short-term fixes. Mr. Speaker, as I finish, I want to urge that we live to what we have always said. This is a house of reason, a house of senior members of our society that see any disagreement on matters of principle as a discourse in debate, not as an affront to each other. Mr. Speaker, I was appalled to see in the National Assembly a member of Parliament beckoning another to come closer to him and then physically assaulted him very viciously, as if they were at war, Mr. Speaker. And the scenes we saw, Mr. Speaker, the TVs were juxtaposing violent scenes in the Kenyan Parliament and violent scenes in notoriously violent parliaments of Korea, of Italy, and Somalia. It is a shame, Mr. Speaker, that we can reduce ourselves to that level. I remember, Mr. Speaker, and I salute the distinguished nominated senator from Ruiru, when one time I said something that offended him, he became very livid, but later followed me and said, look, I realized that being livid on the floor of the Senate doesn't help anybody because nobody was interested in my rage. There's a colleague here who has told Mr. Speaker in the National Assembly, he used to be notorious for grabbing the mess. He came here and one time he contemplated that and he saw that nobody was interested in that kind of behavior. Yes, so this House, Mr. Speaker, must live to this level of dignity and give the country a law that the country is waiting for. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I congratulate each and every of the senators for shedding off some of their ugly past and remain distinguished senators of this House of Parliament.